He's lights out. He had a sub-2 ERA at home, a 1.78. In 60 innings, he struck out 87 batters at home. On the road, 65 innings, 82 strikeouts. So clearly, way over 10 strikeouts per nine. His whip, just over 1.08 at home, 1.02 on the road. He only gave up 10 home runs. Now, his innings were down, 126 innings, and that's because of injuries. But he won 13 games, pitching only 126 innings. Now, I know you don't chase wins, but with Clevinger, it's a little bit different. He dominates so much when he pitches. I think he's going to be a candidate to grab you some wins, which is something we don't chase, but it's a great benefit to have. I think he gets more than 15 wins this year, staying healthy, of course, and he's only 29. Now, speaking of staying healthy, as we still look at my tier 2s, here's a kid who last year could not stay healthy, Blake Snell. Coming off a Cy Young Award winning year in 2018, 2019, not the same for Snell. He only threw 107 innings. Now, in those 107 innings, he did strike out 147 batters. So he still has the gift of K. His whip away from home, away from the trop, not good. Walks per hits per 9 innings, 1.451. He's got it. Maybe it was because he never got in sync as much. You know, he was hurt. Maybe this year, if he comes into spring training healthy, has a complete spring, starts the year, he is the key to Tampa making the playoffs, I think. And a lot of people are picking the Rays, and they're going to be a good team. They'll be a better team with a healthy Blake Snell. Staying on the injured front. Oh, this is why they're in tier 2, guys. Because this next pitcher, if he wasn't an injury threat, he'd be a tier 1. Chris Sale. Sale had the worst season of his career last year. No doubt about it. First of all, he only pitched 147 innings. The Red Sox shut him down late in the year. His ERA was over 4, almost 4.5. In his 147 innings, though, he did strike out 218 batters. And I remember one game last year against Kansas City because I had him on my fantasy team. He shuts out the Royals on 2 hits and strikes out 16. 30 years old. Don't you just know the eyes of New England are going to be on this left-hander all during spring training? And by the way, pitchers and catchers report today. Yes. The 6'6" lefty. If Boston has any chance of making the playoffs in 2020, it's going to ride on the left arm of Chris Sale. That's a scary proposition, but that's really where they are. And if Sale is healthy and can pitch, first of all, if Boston's out of it, he's going to get traded if he's healthy and pitching well. But if Boston's in it, I never count out the Red Sox. They're that kind of team. I just don't count them out. They've got something about them, right? We'll see. But Sale's in my tier 2. Now, also my tier 2 World Series MVP, Stephen Strasburg. Strasburg, great postseason. And what will be interesting to see about Strasburg is how do all the innings that he pitched affect him coming into 2020. Last year, he threw 209 innings during the regular season, and then add on to that the postseason. So close to 300 innings. During the regular season last year, he struck out 251 batters. He had an ERA of 3.31, a whip of 1.038, and my concern is not his ability, but does he have a World Series hangover? I want to see how Washington manages him during spring training. I'm going to watch some games that the Nationals are playing when he pitches. I want to watch Scherzer too. How these two guys pitch will determine the fate of the Nats in 2020. So I look for the Nats to not push Strasburg during spring training, to get him good and loose. Weather can be a factor, and we know Strasburg has had an injury problem throughout his entire career. Speaking of the more injured pitchers, these Tier 2 guys, everybody in my Tier 2, it seems, except for maybe a few, Flaherty and a few others, could be Tier 1 pitchers but for injury or age. And here comes one who has both of those. 31-year-old, I've got a sore back, Clayton Kershaw. Only pitched 178 innings last year. Struck out 189 batters. Had a 3.028 ERA, a 1.043 whip. Those are good numbers. They really are. They're just not Kershawian. They're not Kershawian. They're good. They're Tier 2. But he's not the pitcher that he was, but he's still so good. And I want to see where in drafts Clayton Kershaw falls. I think he's going to be really good. And the Dodgers score a lot of runs. He's not going to throw you complete games, but he's going to get you some wins because the Dodgers score runs like crazy. And he's got some good pitchers around him. I've already named one in my Tier 2, that being Walker Buehler. But Kershaw is solid. And if I look back, those are my 10 pitchers in my Tier 2. Now, look at those. I want to call some names. And I'm going to say, if there's an injury question, I'm going to say question after their name, okay? Max Scherzer, question. Walker Buehler, Jack Flaherty, Shane Bieber, Mike Clevenger, question. Blake Snell, question. Steven Strasburg, question. Chris Sale, question. Clayton Kershaw, question. So of the 10, and wait a minute, I forgot Justin Verlander, question because of age. Of the 10, 7, in my opinion, have some type of question, be it age, be it overusage last year, be it injury, or some combination of the three. The three pitchers that I feel confident about the most are the younger of the group. And let's just review that real quick, because as you're getting ready for drafts, I think this is very important. And I think these three, for me, come at the top of Tier 2. That would be 25-year-old Walker Buehler. That would be 24-year-old Jack Flaherty. And that would be 24-year-old Shane Bieber. In my top tier, in my second tier rather, these are the top 3 pitchers that I will be looking to draft in Tier 2. With the other 7, and I know you're going to disagree with me, and that's great, but I like Walker Buehler this year more than I like Justin Verlander. You're like, that's crazy. Maybe it is. I like Jack Flaherty better than Justin Verlander. I like Shane Bieber better than Justin Verlander. You may not. You draft how you want. I'll draft how I want. But I'm trying to give you the analysis of why I feel that way. And it's based on bullet shot and age. And just know, I know Verlander's a cool customer. I got that. He's in my Tier 2, guys. I didn't say he was a bad pitcher. He's a good pitcher. He's a very good pitcher. And he's got Kate Upton waiting at home for him. I mean, hey. But there's going to be a lot of stress pitching for the Houston Astros this year, particularly early on. Now, Verlander, he can handle that. I believe it. But he's going to get questioned just like every other player on that team. It's going to grow weary. I mean, if you're asked, I don't care who you are, if you're asked the same question every day, 10 times a day, 7 days a week, 12 months a year, you get tired of it. We're human. He's human. We'll keep our eye on it, won't we? We'll keep our eye on it. Those are the top 12 pitchers in my draft. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go through tier 3 and tier 4 on Thursday, because I got a few other tidbits I want to throw at you, and we'll finish our analysis of these pitchers probably sometime next week. Those are my top 12. We'll see how right I am, won't we? And I only have one Yankee that I've mentioned so far. Don't you love that? Some things I read yesterday in the news. Ke'Bryan Hayes looking to make the jump to the majors this year. Pittsburgh Pirate third baseman Ke'Bryan Hayes is looking to get to the majors this year. This is a story I read Corey Johnson wrote yesterday. Hayes is going to be the long-term option at the hot corner for the Pirates. The Pirates will probably start him in the minors, but he is looking to be in the majors sometime this season. And the Pirates are going nowhere. So if he is hitting at AAA, and Colin Moran, my Tar Heel favorite, is not, look for Ke'Bryan Hayes to move into Pittsburgh this year and establish residence at third base. And for fantasy purposes, he could well be worth a late round pick. Another player, we'll switch coasts, okay? We were on the right coast. Now let's go to the left coast. An article I read from Andrew Lee about Franchy Cordero. Franchy Cordero could be the biggest winner with the trade of Manny Margot to Tampa. Cordero now has a shot to be the opening day starting center fielder. He's 25 years old. He only played in 49 games last year due to elbow, and he had some leg injuries. I think it were quad injuries or something. But now he's healthy, it appears, heading into spring training. He's got raw power. He's got speed. Now, he's got a problem striking out. 38.8% career strikeout record. But with Tommy Pham expected to start in left, Cordero will compete with Trent Grisham and Will Myers. There could be some platoon action. I got that. Cordero, a left-handed bat. But his stock is up, and I think Franchy Cordero could be a good late-round pick. Now, you Cub fans out there, Phil Chaplin, Brandon Morrow has thrown 4 mound sessions already. He reported to camp in Arizona early. He's going to throw on a mound every 4 days. And Morrow's plan is to be ready to be on the active roster by opening day. Now, he hasn't thrown in a game since July 15, 2018. But when he pitched for the Dodgers, he was lights out. He has a great arm when healthy. The Cubs could really use that with Strop gone now. And, of course, a lot of Cub fans did not like Pedro Strop. I like the way he wore his hat. But Brandon Morrow is healthy. Could well be what the Cubs need to set up their closer. And so I'm looking for Morrow to come out of spring training and just really put on a show, if you will. I think he's going to be healthy this year. I think they're going to use him sparingly but effectively. And he just offers the Cubs something that they didn't have last year that I think he can produce and be a consistently good setup man. So that's a look at what's going on with our rankings. Tomorrow I'm going to pick up with Tier 3. Now remember what I said, guys. It's important that you